Namaskaram to all viewers of JyothirMaarg. Dear viewers, today I am continuing with the second and third chapters of Devi Mahatmyam. In the past, there was a 100-year-long war between the Devas and the Asuras. The Asuras, under the demon king Mahisha, defeated the Devas. And then that Mahishasura sat on Indra's throne and ruled over all three worlds, namely the Bhumi or earth, Swarg and Patal. The Devas were driven out of Swargalok, and they all came to earth and lived in disguise as human beings. Then one day, along with Brahma, the Devas approached Lord Vishnu and Shiva and explained their predicament. "We have lost our heavenly abode and don't have a place to go," said the Devas, and requested that the demon king Mahisha may be destroyed one way or other. Listening to the cruelties of Mahisha and the sad plight of the Devas, Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva got transformed to their Raudra Bhava and became fiery in nature. And then a very powerful and glowing energy started coming out from them. Thereafter, a similar energy of great radiance started to flow out from Brahmadeva and all other Devas. And then all these glowing energies joined together to become a fiery and radiant force which was growing in volume. That blazing energy grew larger than the size of large mountains and looked like the fire which swallows the universe at the end of every kalpa. Now that enormous fiery radiance slowly turned into the shape of a female goddess. A very powerful, radiant, and extraordinarily beautiful and divine goddess emerged out of this combined strength and power of the gods and the Devas. The lotus-like face of this Devata was formed from the force that had emerged from Lord Shiva. Hands took shape from Vishnu Shakti. Brahma's strength got converted into her legs. The chest and the breast area came from Mother Earth and the moon. Long and dark tresses of hair were from Yama, the Lord of Death. The navel and waist region came from Indragni. Thighs from Varuna, the god of the oceans. Fingers of the hand from Surya, and fingers of the legs from the Ashtavasu. Shapely nose from Kubera, 3 eyes from Agni, jasmine flower buds like teeth from Prajapati, eyebrows from the 2 Sandhyas, sunrise and sunset, and ears from Vayu. The strength and energy of the Trimurti gods and the Devas joined together, and finally she stood there beyond comparison in strength, size, shape, form, and appearance. Now, the gods started giving their weapons to this Devi. Lord Shiva gave his Trishul, and Lord Vishnu gave the Chakra. Likewise, Varuna gave the Shankha or the conch shell and the noose made of the rope. Agni gave the spear and the powerful bow and arrows. Indra gave his Vajra weapon. The Kaldanda and the sword and the shield were given by Yamadharma. Airavat gave a bell, Prajapati gave the Akshamala, and Brahmadeva gave his Kamandalu, which is the holy water pot. By Surya's blessing, divine rays of radiance emanated from her body. The Milky Way gave Devi dresses and garlands, all of which were shining like the stars. Vishwakarma gave her various ornaments, and axe, flowers and garlands were given by the oceans. Himavan, the mighty and divine mountain, gave her the huge, fierce and undefeatable lion as her Vahan. Kubera gave her glasses filled with honey, Soma and Sura. Sheshnag gave the Naghar, and other gods and Devas also presented Devi with various other weapons and gifts. Then that Devi of divine and enchanting beauty and strength stood there, thus decorated with various weapons and ornaments, well equipped with the most fearful and powerful weapons given to her by the lords of the universe. Then she roared with such resonance that all 3 worlds were shaken along with the 7 oceans, the 7 mountains, and the 7 islands. And then was heard the lion roar of Devi's Vahan, the powerful lion itself, which reverberated in all the worlds, bringing fear in the minds of the Asuras. On hearing these non-stop thunder-like roars, rishis and saints started worshipping this goddess, and all the Devas, wearing their weapons, assembled to fight against the Asuras along with this Devi. The demon king Mahisha also got his weapons and along with his huge army of demons came out looking for the source of such alarming and daring lion roars. There he saw that Devi, whose glow and radiance filling all the three worlds. The touch of her feet shook the earth. Her crown was touching the high skies. Her several hands were spread on both sides. The sound of her conch shell was resounding all over the world. Mahishasur, the powerful demon king of unmatched strength, was amazed to see this divine form of Devi with all her powerful and fearful features and attributes. Then began the fierce battle between Devi and the Asura army, which had the mighty demon Chikshura as its commander-in-chief. He was accompanied by another powerful demon warrior by name Chamara. At their command were countless battalions of the four sections of army, which included soldiers on foot and horseback and soldiers in chariots and those on top of elephants. Then there came other heroes like Udagra, Mahahanu, Masiloma, Bashkala and Ugradarsana. Another hero by name Vilala came with an army consisting of a crore of chariots. With such vast army, those mighty demons unleashed a dreadful attack on Devi with various types of weapons. On the face of such fierce attack, Devi stood her ground effortlessly, and then hundreds and thousands of weapons originated from her in the split of a second's time. These weapons were directed at the demons and finished them off in hundreds and thousands. Rishis, saints and Gandharvas started worshipping Devi, and their mantras and chantings gave more and more power and strength to that goddess in battle. Devi's Vahan, the lion, moved length and breadth of the Asura ranks, destroying and killing the Asuras like a spreading forest fire. When Devi breathed, endless creations and weapons originated from her breath, and they all fell upon the demons and devastated them badly. Mutilated bodies and dead bodies of the Asuras filled the battlefield. Devadas did Pushpavrishti, that is showering of flowers on Devi from the skies. Seeing the Asura army coming to a disastrous end, the divine music which originated from Rishi Narada filled the skies. When most of the Asura army had been destroyed like this, Chikshura, their commander-in-chief, engaged himself in a direct combat with Devi. But in no time, Devi destroyed his chariot and weapons. Thereupon, Chikshura came down with his sword and shield and fought with Devi. When his sword touched Devi's hand, that sword got broken into 1,000 pieces. Then he tried to attack Devi with shul or large-sized spear. Meanwhile, Devi finished him off with a shul only and sent him to Yama's abode. Then came the mighty heroes and renowned Asura leaders like Chamara, Udagra, Uddhada, Karala, Bashkala, Tamra, Andaga, Ugrasya, Mahahanu and Ugravirya, followed by the remaining greats of the Asura army like Atrinetra, Vilala, Durdhara and Durmukha, who were all destroyed and killed by Devi one after another. Like that, when all the great heroes and his vast army were annihilated by Devi, the mighty and powerful demon king Mahisha himself arrived like a raging mountain in the battleground. He came as a Mahisha, that is a buffalo of enormous size, kicking and striking with the back of his legs and toes. Mahisha killed Devi's Bhoot Ganas in thousands with the lashing of his tail and moving fast among them. And he killed many more by the sheer force of his deep and powerful breathing. Mahisha then came close to Devi's Vahan, the lion. In between, he broke huge mountain peaks and kept showering them on Devi. Then that powerful Chandika Devi tied him down with a rope, whereupon he assumed the shape of a lion and freed himself from Devi's Pashbandhan. When Devi beheaded that lion, Mahisha immediately took a human form with sword in his hand. Devi then covered him with arrows, whereupon he came as an elephant and caught and dragged the lion with his trunk. When Devi chopped and removed the trunk from the elephant's body, Mahisha took up his original form of the buffalo and with his mighty and enormous hoofs started shaking all the three worlds. Seeing Mahisha like this, a very angry Chandika Devi started consuming the soma, sura and honey and in her intoxicated state, her large and round eyes turned red. She laughed aloud, and its echoes resounded in all the three worlds. Now, Mahishasura also roared in anger, and with his toes started showering huge stones and mountain peaks on Chandika Devi. But in a very effortless manner, Devi broke them down and powdered them with her arrows. Then in a thundering voice and tone, she spoke to Mahisha like this: "Roar you may, you fool, for a short while only, till I finish with these drinks. Thereafter, it will be the turn of the gods and the devas to roar in ecstasy when I will kill you in an instant." Saying like that, with no waste of time, Devi jumped upon Mahisha, bringing him to the ground with her leg forcefully pressed on his neck and piercing him with her powerful shool. Then Mahisha emerged like a demon from the body of the buffalo with a sword and a shield in his hand. While he was still coming out and rising up, in the split of a second, Devi moved fast like the wind and with a powerful stroke of her sword beheaded that Asura, whereupon his body fell to the ground in 2 pieces. With the death of Mahishasura, remaining few demons also ceased to exist and disappeared. All 3 worlds rejoiced, and the Devas and the Rishis started worshipping Devi. Gandharvas started singing, and beautiful Apsara women started dancing in the skies. Thus ends the second and third chapters of Devi Mahatmyam.